This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box. Whether you enjoy geeky reviews, comedy, or original fiction, you can open up the Culture Box and find something excellent for your soul. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
Hey, man.
Hey, Jacob, how's it going?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. I got this amazing package just in from this random patron. I don't know who this person was, but they gave me this amazing drink from Fantasy Island. It's some kind of root beer or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but man, this was so good. And man, that was so good. You got to have one. It's great, man.
Hang on. Let me see that can right quick. Did you say Fantasy Island?
Yeah.
I think your ADD is kicking you in the butt again.
Really?
Yeah, this says Pleasure Island.
Is that a bad thing?
We will just have to wait and see. And pray no smoke monsters show up.
Okay. Hold on. What the heck? What was that?
No, this is normal for you. Welcome to another episode of The Cellcast
Reaction.
Joining me today is a man who, well, really needs to read his labels better. Welcome, Jacob.
Man, it's like, come on, man, give me a break. Why, thank you. Let me introduce our co-host. There it goes again. That's weird.
Your Tourette's has never acted up this bad before.
No, it hasn't. That's weird, right? Mm-hmm. But anyways, welcome. Let me introduce our co-host, a man who, just wants to get away and goes to, Pleasure Island. Welcome, Drew.
Actually, I've heard some bad Yelp reviews about that place. I'm going to stay away.
Yeah, I've heard it too. What the heck was that?
I don't know, but don't go scratching behind your rear there.
Okay. Should I look?
No, don't look.
Okay.
Give it some time.
Okay, got it.
So, today we are reacting to the 2022 live-action remake of Pinocchio, starring Tom Hanks. I forgot he was going to be in this.
Really?
Yeah. Unlike normal, because of some weird time constraints and everything, we didn't get a chance to talk about what we wanted to record that part of it.
Yes.
We normally do in reactions. We're talking about what we wanted to happen, because of the scheduling, because this was almost last minute.
It was.
Because your girlfriend's the one who suggested this to a Saturday.
Yes.
Or suggested to you. You texted me. I made a fool of myself. But
yes.
it all came out in the wash.
Yeah, she actually texted me on Friday that, I'm watching the new Pinocchio movie. You guys should really do a reaction to it. So, yeah, we're doing a reaction to it.
Yeah. So we are reacting to that today. So let's just jump into the spoiler-free section of our thoughts on this, since we didn't get to talk about the other parts. So
exactly.
I usually start this off, but I think I want to hand it off to you first, Jacob.
All right. I thought it was really good. I thought it was a very well done movie that paid very good homage to the original. It adapted here and there. I know why a lot of people have gripes and complaints against this movie.
We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But overall, I really enjoyed it for what the story was. The story beats they kind of missed and took out, and Pinocchio's journey kind of goes a little smoother than in the original.
Yeah.
But overall,
he does it in a day here.
Yeah, he does.
It took, what, a week at least?
Yeah, in the original?
In the original movie?
Yeah. But overall, I really enjoy this movie. You?
When the live-action Disney movies have been hit or miss since the first one, which I think was that Cinderella or Sleeping Beauty?
Sleeping Beauty.
Because it's Maleficent, technically.
Yeah, it's technically Maleficent.
They've been hit or miss. Some have been, like Maleficent was not a direct adaptation, because it was being told from Maleficent's point of view, and they made changes to the story to make that work. Not to the... I mean, it's about as it's more of a based off the that one was more based off the actual fairy tale than I think it was based off the movie. But either way, and then some of the others we've seen, like Lion King, have been okay, but not great. We all know that as probably as much as I enjoyed the live action Aladdin, let's face it, Will Smith is no Robin Williams, but then he wasn't trying to be.
Yeah.
I thought the live action Beauty and the Beast was good. I really liked the live action Jungle Book, mostly because I like hearing Christopher Walken try to sing Friend Like You. But like I said, these have all been hit or miss. I have still not seen, I think, Dumbo, and there was one other one that I haven't seen.
Okay.
Or I haven't seen Cinderella yet, actually. But all of that in context, I thought this was actually a fairly decent adaptation of the film. Oh, Mulan is the one I was thinking of, also known as Mulan Ball Z. But that's beside the point. I thought this was a good adaptation. It was for the most part, it's actually a fairly close adaptation of the movie. But where they make changes is actually because there are some changes to the story to give it more context.
Yeah.
And some of those changes did require alterations to the story, but they're all kind of minor. And I actually was fine with most of the alterations to the story that they did.
Yeah.
Except they left out the smoking on Pleasure Island because Disney won't show smoking on screen anymore.
Of course.
Yeah, but how much better would it be? It's like, oh, hey, all the smoking that all these kids are doing gets them turned into donkeys.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good way. It's like, hey, smoking is not cool. Don't go smoking.
I would agree. That would give a very
But then
good
there are
PSA.
smoke monsters.
True.
That's not spoiler, really.
No.
But there are smoke monsters on Pleasure Island, which is weird. Anyway, I wonder if that's a reference, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought it was a decent adaptation. I have a couple of do what nows, especially in the last half hour of the movie, which we'll get to in just a minute. But
Yeah.
maybe it's just the fact that we're recording this in the middle of our bad movie month, and I've seen how bad movies can actually get. Mm-hmm. This does not offend me as much as it might have otherwise. I see why some people don't like it, but at the same time, it's like, this is actually pretty decent. It's not anything to get upset about.
I would agree with
except for
you.
maybe some of the final scenes, but we'll get there when we get there. Are you ready to jump into the full review of this or reaction to this thing?
Right. What the heck was that?
I don't know. It's like you're switching into your Scooby-Doo voice for some reason.
Yeah, right. What the heck was in that drink?
I don't know.
Raggy. Hey, what the heck? Oh, great. I'm a dog. Great. I'm going to sue this place.
First, Josh Adams turns into an Eevee, and now you turn into a dog. What is with your family?
I don't know, man.
Next thing, I'm going to find out that Jim's turned into a giant octopus. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on to our full reaction to Pinocchio 2022. The following is a spoiler-filled reaction to the movie Pinocchio 2022. Listener discretion is advised. Now, let's be honest. If you have listened past the spoiler warning and you've seen the original Pinocchio, you know the movie pretty much.
Yeah.
There's not much more spoilery you can get other than there's some minor differences in some things.
Uh-huh.
Do I need to find you a flea collar?
Ray. Rare. I feel prejudiced.
Anyway, before we get too far into getting you into reacting to this, because I suspect a lot of people don't want to hear you don't want to hear a lot of talk in this way. No offense.
We're Reagan.
Let me try something here.
Okay. Hey, ears are gone. Tail. Hey, dude, that worked. Whatever you put on there was awesome.
Dealet, out of curiosity, what was that?
Yeah, exactly.
Do what now? Blue fairy magic mixed with dog drool? Why did we even have that on hand?
Okay.
Dealet, are you the one who sent him the root beer? Dealet, we're gonna have to have a talk later.
Yeah, exactly. Rough. Wait a minute.
This is going to be interesting. Anyway, what are your thoughts
on
Pinocchio? So what we saw?
Pinocchio 2022 on Disney Plus. I really enjoyed this movie. There again, it is a very good adaptation. I'm saying that a good adaptation of the original 1950s,
40s. Pinocchio is the second.
That's right.
Animated Disney movie, which means it actually came out before the U.S. entered World War II. If I remember correctly. I think it's like 1941, 42?
1 second.
Because Snow White is like 38, 39. 1940.
1940. Okay.
Yeah, 1940.
Yeah, this is a very good adaptation, live action adaptation of the 1940s classic animation. And
which we have reviewed on the Cellcast.
Yes,
so
we
go
have.
back and listen to that episode if you're
yes,
interested.
yeah, very good, very very good. Yeah, this is up to me. It's probably one of the better live action adaptations from Disney. There again, I know a lot of people don't like this because it doesn't stay true to the original fairy tale, nor does it exactly stay true to the original, what we're calling the source material from the 1940 film.
It's mainly based on the 1940 film because the 1940 film is very off from the actual fairy tale.
That is true.
Because in the fairy tale, Jiminy Cricket is killed like 3 seconds after he becomes Pinocchio's conscience.
Yeah.
By Pinocchio.
Yes.
So, and Pinocchio's kind of a little snot in the original story.
Right.
But anyway.
Yeah. Like I found myself really, really enjoying this film. There again, there was like the end of where we're in the spoiler territory now.
Yeah.
So the fairy doesn't come back. She appears once in the movie and then she's gone. Where the original 1940 film, she pops up like 3 or 4 times.
She pops up 2 other times after the initial reveal.
Yeah.
One of them is to save Pinocchio in the puppeteer's caravan, and to explain why his nose is growing out 30 feet long.
Yeah.
And then, while she doesn't physically appear, technically her blue power stuff hits Pinocchio to turn him into a real boy at the end of the movie.
Right.
In the animated one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, it was a little disappointing that, there again, let's go into likes and dislikes with this film. I love the performance, definitely, of Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks, like, anytime he's on screen, he does an amazing job. I've heard people complain that it's like, oh, his accents are always so weird or so odd. It's like, yeah, but also he's a very good actor.
Tom Stinkin' Hanks.
Yeah, he can play. He can play just about anything, and he's pretty much done that. And in this movie, he proves it. It'd be like he's a man who is, and they adapted the story again with this movie where it's a man who has lost everything, and he now just lives in his workshop with a cat and a fish, and he is desperate to, find some reconnection with humanity through a puppet.
And he won't sell any of his clocks
Until much later.
Which, remind me, that wasn't a plot point in the original film.
No, nothing.
He just had a bunch of clocks.
Yeah, he just had a bunch of clocks. It didn't necessarily it'd be like it implied that he was a woodsmith, but
yeah. But let's before we go too much farther, I think we do need to talk about those clocks.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
Because
those are so fun.
The first part in there where it's like, oh look, is that Woody? Mm-hmm. Coming out of the Oatcake Corral riding on, I can't remember Woody's horse's name. But anyway, it's like, huh, that's an interesting little callback. 3 seconds later, then Jessica Rabbit and Roger Rabbit are here. It kind of makes sense. Robert Zemeckis made both these films.
Right.
And then there's Maleficent.
Uh-huh.
And then there's the most complicated one that involves Snow White and the hag.
Oh, gosh.
That thing was ridiculous in everything it had to do. Ooh. I don't care how good a wood carpenter Tom Hanks is in this film. There's no way that existed in that thing would have done that in real life.
That was interesting. They're gonna be like when they're giving homages to like the other Disney Vault or the Disney Legacy. I really enjoyed that. I was like, oh my gosh, they went there. That was really cool. I think they threw in some Pixar, I believe. I might be wrong.
Just the Woody and the Woody thing.
Yeah,
just Woody. And you really couldn't throw in Buzz Lightyear. That wouldn't have made as much sense. But you can see him making a cowboy cuckoo clock. Maybe, perhaps.
Yeah, but that was really nice to watch that. They're gonna be like they kind of flesh out the backstory of Geppetto, and I really enjoy that. And because I think it was more be like his wish to be like he wish he had a son.
Yeah.
In the original, where in this it kind of gives you more be like he lost his wife and he lost his son, and so now he's a man he's a broken man who spends all his days just making clocks, making wooden carvings or whatever. And he just wishes to have his son return. Mm-hmm. But according to the Blue Fairy, it's like his heart was like halfway in it. So he had his puppet, which he called Pinocchio because his name
because he's made out of pine.
Yeah, he's made out of pine.
Yeah.
And I love the joke that comes up later, but about
we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
But it's so well done when they do the setup, and it's there again. It's Tom Hanks performing to nothing.
Yeah.
And
he's in this room alone.
Yeah.
Because even the Figaro and the fish. Goldie?
No, it's not Goldie.
Not Goldie.
Hold on.
Cleo.
Yeah, Cleo.
Even Cleo and Figaro are computer animated.
Yeah, it makes sense why they would make them animated.
Yeah, because you've got to have them be a little bit more
animated.
Lively.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to say animated, but a little more lively, a little more aware of what's going on.
Yeah, people complain, be like, they're again.
I will say I do miss the age of using actual animals and then kind of animating their faces on the actual bodies, even though that can be a little wonky sometimes. But I do somewhat miss that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like the story itself is very well done. There again, be like they're adapting it, and this is a good story. This is a very well done story with Pinocchio. Now he's been brought to life. He doesn't have a conscience, but over time he does gain his own knowledge.
Right.
He gained his own kind of conscience of who he is. And
we didn't have to depend on Jiminy anymore.
Yeah, which was good. I thought it was weird because I know in the original, like when he's introduced to the fox.
Yeah, Honest John.
Honest John. Yeah,
Honest John and Silent Mel Blanc.
Silent.
I don't remember the cat's name, but he was originally supposed to be voiced by Mel Blanc in the cartoon and in the animated movie, and then they cut all his lines.
That is hysterical.
I do remember that from that episode.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Silent Mel Blanc.
Silent Mel Blanc. But I mean, like, it's very well done, and that we get to be like, oh, I've got to go to school, and be like, Pinocchio, be like, watching this movie and like kind of reminiscing of what was going on in the story.
Especially since we just watched the movie, the animated movie, like either this year or last year.
I think it was last year.
I think it was last year, so it's fresh. It's fairly fresh on our minds.
Yeah, exactly. So you got Pinocchio, who in the original movie was doing all the wrong things. He was, getting in trouble, what have you. Where in this one, it's Pinocchio. He's doing all the right things. It's just everything kind of just falls flat. Like he actually goes to school, where in the original he didn't.
Yeah, he didn't in the original, but at the same time, he does still make a lot of wrong decisions. It's just that when he does make the right decisions, they backfire on him.
Exactly.
So not everything, because that's the thing, you go back to the animated one, everything that happens in that movie is Pinocchio's fault.
Yeah.
Every single little thing.
Exactly.
And he reaps the consequences for his decisions.
Exactly.
In this one, he is not the cause of every problem. He actually does try to do the right thing, but sometimes it backfires on him.
It does. And that's one of the things I kind of be like, I know some people are going to be like, oh my gosh, you're speaking heresy against the original movie. Be like, but it makes the character more.
And here's the other thing you got to realize when you're talking about a remake of a film. I have yet to see any film that has had a remake in which the original version has disappeared.
Yeah.
Because, this is the superior version. This is the film you got to do. No, most of the time it's like, okay, here's the original film and here's the new film. You can watch them back to back if you want to.
Yeah.
We'll even sell it to you in a 2-box set. That it's not like this movie existing means you can't go back and watch the old Pinocchio. As much as Disney probably would like you to do that, since they hate the fact that there's a lot of smoking in that original movie.
And drinking.
And drinking. Yeah. This time they changed it to root beer. It still looks like beer.
Well,
they called it root beer. It still looks like beer. It still keeps a beer head.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's root beer.
Well, Pinocchio does say, like, when he's talking to Geppetto, when he finally meets up and explains the entire plot of what happened in between,
yes,
which is hysterical. That's what a kid would do. But it's like, yeah, they gave us a root beer, but I wasn't exactly sure what they called it. It's like, yeah, it was beer.
It's because it was beer.
It was beer.
It's like they changed someone changed the ADR at the last minute, but they didn't go back in time to change the animation because all the root beer was CG too. Which, admittedly, in Pinocchio's hand, that makes sense.
It does.
It would have been hard to do. But okay, continue.
No, but like, yeah, you have a very good story. You have good characters. You have good characters, like you said before. Be like Pinocchio isn't the character that makes everything goes wrong in the movie. It's his fault, but it's a character who's trying to do the right thing. It just all backfires, or it just goes the other direction he thought it was going to go.
Right,
and he's a more relatable character instead of he's just the bad little kid. Like he's the kid who's trying to be responsible, and he's trying to gain to that point where he can, the wish being fully granted, he'd be a real boy. And I like it that he's trying to do the right thing, and like you said, be like everything just backfires on him. And right. I really enjoy that, especially when you get to Pleasure Island.
Yes.
And oh my gosh, the thought of this film, going back and watching the original when we did when we did our review of the original Pinocchio, this movie was freaking frightening.
Oh yes.
I'd be like, yeah, these kids who are running amok or whatever on Pleasure Island, and they all get turned into donkeys, and it's like, as a little kid, it scared the crap out of me. I was like, whoa, this is freaking frightening.
But it's supposed to do that.
It's supposed to, because it's giving that, kind of a PA message of be like, all your.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, but
I'll break in after you're finished the sentence.
But it's more like a PSA of be like, hey, be like all these the things that you think are good, they're actually bad, and they have very destructive to your life.
Yeah.
AKA you get turned into a burrow and get sold into a salt mine.
And boy, do they harp on that.
Oh yeah.
Like from the second Pinocchio is locked in Stromboli's
gosh.
thing, you actually hear a donkey whine. It's like,
you do.
Oh wow, y'all are foreshadowing this early.
Yes, they are.
But that's when we also meet another character that's new for this
yes.
movie. The duo of Fabiana and Sabina.
Yeah.
Now I have to say they're a duo.
Yeah.
It's not one person in a marionette, because remember how I said that the last half hour of this threw me for a bit of a loop?
Okay.
Throughout the whole film, anytime Fabiana and Sabina are on screen,
Yeah.
only one of them speaks at a time, which makes sense.
Yeah.
One's a performer,
Oh, yeah.
and the other's the marionette.
Yes.
Only one person should be speaking at one time.
Uh-huh.
Until they say goodbye to Pinocchio
At the very,
at the very end, and they say it at the same time, and I went, wait, what? Are these... Is she alive too? Did some of Pinocchio's magic rub off on her? Why does she still have strings, Fabiana? No, I don't know. It's just, it was a weird moment there.
It was. I was like, huh?
But that duo of characters is interesting.
Yeah.
Especially with Fabiana being... she had some trouble with her leg, I think. Like maybe she got injured when doing some ballet, because she's wearing a ballet slipper on that foot the entire movie.
Yeah.
Which was weird to some degree.
Yeah.
But
It makes sense what the character wants to be.
right, she wishes she was still a ballet. She could still be a ballet dancer, and she can't be anymore.
Yeah.
But yet she is still able to do pirouettes and such. Because
Well,
we see that when during her song there in the thing, because she's balancing on her tiptoes on the one that's got the clockwork stuff on it, holding her leg together.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, which is odd, but I thought that was an interesting character to bring in there and to kind of help Pinocchio along. But then you got Sabina, which after Pinocchio will not talk to I want to say Fabina, that is not her name. After she won't talk to the performer anymore, she says, "Oh, I'll just talk to you through Sabina," and he treats her like she's normal, because to him but he's got to know that she's not alive, right?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
I think it's more be like he likes Sabina as a character.
I get that.
Because there again, he's supposed to be like a 5-year-old boy.
Yeah,
Like
he's
a
not supposed to completely understand everything.
Yeah, and so
But-
it's like, oh, she's kind of cool. Where what's her name?
You're gonna make me look it up again.
Yes.
It was Fabiana.
Yeah, Fabiana. Be like, oh yeah, I don't want to trust anybody except my dad, my father.
He's the only real person I can
trust.
Okay, here's Sabina.
Yeah, you'll trust her.
You'll trust her. So it's like, okay. And before we get too much out of that, I want to talk about the fact that all the marionettes in this film are CG,
Yeah,
which is a little weird
yeah,
to me. And I guess the CG is still technically cheaper, and it's a lot easier to get the performance
Yeah.
you want out of all of the marionettes, not just Pinocchio. Pinocchio makes sense because he's got to actually act like a living boy
right.
and made out of wood. But Sabina and then all the marionettes that are in the Got No Strings on Me number.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a part of me that regrets, that wishes that they had actually gotten actual marionette performers to perform that song with actual marionettes,
yeah,
because that would be cool and would look a little bit more realistic. But then all of these movies, all the live action movies, have that patina of fakeness to them.
Yeah.
Being slightly more animated than real life.
true.
So I don't know if that would have worked or not, but I kind of wish it would. It would have given it more of a grounded feel, I think.
I would agree.
For all the other ones.
More authentic, more
Yes.
an authentic feel to it. I agree with you on
And
that.
then it would be interesting if Sabina is coming alive, if she slowly morphed to being more computer animated to give you the feel, even if they never pointed out till Sabina and Fabiana say goodbye at the same time
yeah.
at the end.
I do like your theory that maybe Sabina the marionette is kind of like
Coming alive.
coming alive due to the contact with Pinocchio. That would be a good theory, but
Yeah. But I don't know if that's what I'm supposed to take from it either.
right.
Because if it is, that's a weird plot point they did nothing with.
Yeah, I agree. You kind of get just dropped,
Yeah.
but overall, be like this movie's very good. Definitely, when we get to Monstro.
Oh, let's talk about Monstro.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about this. Big whale monster.
He's not a whale anymore.
No, he's just a big monster.
They merged a humpback whale
Yeah.
with a kraken.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that now he is a quote unquote sea monster. And I'm looking at it going, why is Pinocchio a kaiju movie all of a sudden? I mean, granted, giant whale, wouldn't be surprised if there was a kaiju movie involving a giant whale. That's not Moby Dick.
But I thought you would have liked it because it's like, it's a kaiju.
I have nothing against it. It's just it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was.
I'm sitting there going, okay, monster's going to show up any second now because this is getting too heartfelt, and I know how this has to go. And all of a sudden, the jaws start closing around him and go, all right, here we go. It makes sense. Of course, he's got teeth, even though whales don't have teeth. But then this is not, it is a whale, but it's not a whale. I could have lived with it. But then all of a sudden, the camera zooms out and he's got tentacles. It's like, is this Monstro or Cthulhu?
Both.
Apparently. Although I went with Kraken more than Cthulhu.
Yeah.
But it threw me for a bit. And then you get to what I consider the stupidest part of the film.
Okay.
That I kind of don't care about, but it's still weird.
Okay.
Apparently Pinocchio is a outboard motor now.
Oh yeah, that was. I love how they set it up where he can dance very fast and be like the African.
Yes, and that's cool. I like the idea of him dancing so fast he's setting the wood on fire.
Yeah,
that was an interesting concept. But then you're sitting. He's trying to help Geppetto and them escape from the Monstro, the whale kraken. And it's not just, he's kicking really hard and really fast and it's producing faster movement than really should be possible.
Yeah, thrust.
It's not just that. It's the fact that the sound effect is an outboard motor. That just
I thought it was cool.
I have nothing really against it.
Yeah.
It's just, wow. I was not expecting that kind of joke. I would have expected it in something like, say, something that was a little bit more... Because the thing is, despite the anthropomorphic animals in this, Pinocchio is probably one of the most grounded fairy tales Disney's ever worked with.
Agreed.
I mean, there's a couple weird things like the Pleasure Island and the kids turning into donkeys and all, but for them... And there is, of course, Honest John and... Gideon, that's his name.
Gideon, yeah, the fox. Oh my gosh,
Cat.
I love the fox and the cat.
You have them.
Yeah.
And that's still kind of weird. And they still don't explain why there's an anthropomorphic fox and cat just walking around and no one cares.
Yeah.
I kind of let that slide in the animated one a little bit because they're like, outside of all the kids at Pleasure Island, they're like one of 12 characters that are actually in the film.
Right.
In this, though, we see tons of humans all over the place for a lot of the film. And then there's just this random anthropomorphic fox and cat that are in this one scene that never show up again.
That is true.
That's the thing. Honest John and Gideon showed back up to get Pinocchio to go to Pleasure Island in the animated movie.
And to get paid for it.
Here, they're just gone.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I guess they did their job. Heck, I was
disappointed by that.
I was expecting the guy who came into Geppetto's shop at the beginning
Oh
to
yeah.
buy the clock. I expected he was Honest John, and he was actually going to get revenge on Geppetto for not selling him his thing by stealing Pinocchio and selling him to the circus. Not the circus, the puppet show.
Yeah.
I thought that's what was going to happen. It's like, no, they went more with what happened in the original film. It's like, then why did you bring this guy in other than just to say, oh, yes, I don't sell my Disney knockoff cuckoo clocks?
Fair.
It was a weird little moment.
I agree with you. There are points in this movie where there's a subplot here, definitely with the fox.
Yes.
Yeah, with the fox and the cat.
Honest John and Gideon.
Honest John and the cat and Gideon.
Honest John is the fox. Gideon is the cat.
Yes. There are points where it'd be like, there's points where it'd be like they just, the story of them kind of just drops off into the ocean. Same way with the marionette story that gets dropped. There again, that drops off in a very good way.
It comes back, because
comes back in full circle.
And you can tell their story continued. It wasn't just, well, they're in this part of the story and they're gone.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, the whole thing with Jiminy being stuck under the pickle jar.
Yeah.
And somehow the pickle jar not ever getting knocked over all day next to a school full of children.
That is weird.
Until it just so happens that the puppet trailer is driving past the jar and the rock happens to knock it over just enough that Jiminy Cricket can pick it up.
Yeah. I do like
How
that it was
strong is that pickle jar?
That's a heavy crook.
It's a heavy. I would like to think that Jiminy Cricket could have burrowed out in that time period.
That is true, but I do like the setup where it is Jiminy Cricket is saying, it's like, man, they need to do something about these rocks and be like, it's gonna hit somebody in the eye.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But I do like how they set that up and it does play out.
They set it up and it was nice, but it's like, Jiminy, you were able to make it under Geppetto's door. I think you can move a bunch of rocks out of the way to get up to at least enough to maybe topple the jar over so you can get out and go catch up with Pinocchio.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And plus the idea that he's stuck in the jar the entire day in the sun, he should be a fried cricket.
Yeah. He should be a fried cricket by that point.
Exactly. But that's
at the beginning. You think I'll ever going to be warm again? Oh, yes. In 2 days' time underneath the pickle jar. You will be. That's why narrator Jiminy Cricket said, you'll just have to wait and see. It's like, oh yeah, you think you're cold now. You're going to wish you were this cold again.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Direct sun.
I did enjoy this film.
Good.
It was good. It's not like... I would not use this to replace the original in any way. I would. Of course. If I was wanting to show somebody Disney's Pinocchio, definitely go with the animated one because I think it's much more classic and it does tell some of these plot points, I think, a little bit better.
Okay.
But this one providing more context and more of a through story, I think, was very good.
I agree.
This is the kind of thing I'd say, watch one, watch the other. You tell me which is better.
Yeah. And
that sort of thing.
And there again, there's probably a lot of people who will hear a review and not watch the movie. It's like, oh, because it doesn't stick to the original material. I'm not going to watch it.
It actually sticks pretty close.
It does stick
to the original material.
Yeah. It changes things, so I don't want to watch it anymore.
What's changed is very minor.
Yes.
And yes, some of those changes did require further changes to the plot. But like I said, it's almost like nothing. It's like extra moments that just provide a little more context to the scene because it's a lot faster to film this movie than it was to hand draw it and sell animation. So they could do some more.
Yeah, agreed.
Not every shot is like $1,000 or however much each frame was of cell animation it took to make Pinocchio. They could cheat a little here, but not as much as a movie we're going to be reviewing later this week. Anyway, I think that's going to bring us to the end. Of course, it's a reaction, so we don't rate these.
Exactly.
So this should be coming out sometime later this week, probably after Titanic. The Legend Goes On. So join us but that's the next one we are reviewing, and then after that it's Leo the Lion, King of the Jungle.
Yes. And
then we'll be done with Bad Movie Month, so join us for whichever one of those is next in your podcast feed. And in the meantime, this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we'll catch you in the next frame.
Rough! Dig it, not again!
You can follow Jacob on his Facebook at Jacob B. Heron. His Facebook page, Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where he tries to draw each and every day. His Instagram at Jacob B. Heron. His Twitter at Jacob Heron. And his Letterboxd at Jacob Heron. You can find Drew on Facebook at Drew Dodgen. His Facebook page, Drew's Photo Bin, to see his photography. His Letterboxd page at GGeorge759. His Twitter at GGeorge759. And Instagram at Drew Dodgen. You can like us on Facebook at the Cellcast Podcast, on Twitch at the Cellcast Gaming, on YouTube at Cellcast, on Twitter at cast_cell. The Cellcast can be found at Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or anywhere else fine podcasts are downloaded from. Please rate and review us where you found us, and also on Podchaser. Email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. The Cellcast is a proud member of both the Pop Americana and Culture Box media networks. For more information, please see the link in the description. Our theme song is Drop and Roll by Silent Partner. And remember, that's Cell with a single L.
Oh, man. What the heck?
Holy crud, he got smaller.
What the world's going on?
D-Lit, did you mix that potion app to turn him back correctly?
Yeah. What the roof? Wait. Oh my gosh, I'm scrappy.
Are you saying you didn't have a good recipe? This is just what they told you? Why did you do this to Jacob? What did he do to you?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. Oh, come on. Puppy power. Oh, no.
D-Lit, you get me in touch with these people right now.
Yeah, right now. Please.